We are commonly asked two questions about our prices, and if you've asked one of these questions, you might be surprised to hear the alternative. Because about half of the questions about our prices want to know why our courses are expensive, and equally the other half want to know why our courses are so cheap. So let me give you the answers to both of those questions and at the same time give you the reasoning behind our pricing structure. I'm going to start by answering the question, why are our courses expensive? The first thing is you have to remember that this is an academically accredited course. Now, I will be the first person to say that that is not the be-all and end-all of everything. And in fact, having a course that's academically accredited doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to do what you want it to do. However, it's vital if you want to receive full recognition for any qualification that you study. In fact, it's the only way that your qualification will be recognized worldwide. So achieving and maintaining that academic accreditation is costly in many ways, and that cost is built into the pricing of our courses. The next thing is that we have incredible resources and student support, and that is what enables us to get people to the high standard that they achieve when they complete one of these courses. I can tell you now that it's impossible to provide good quality support for a lower price. It really is one of those cases where you get what you pay for. Another thing is, as I already said earlier, these are not courses. These are interactive training programs that will train you to become a professional designer. We use our courses as tools or a mechanism by which we actually do that. And I like to use the metaphor of a hammer and a chisel. In themselves, they're just tools. But when you put them in the hands of someone, they can be used to cause damage or destruction, like maybe breaking into a car. But in the hands of someone like Michelangelo, a hammer and a chisel can be used to create outstanding and breathtaking works of art that we're still admiring centuries later. So if your question is, why are our courses so expensive? I will say to you, you will find cheaper courses, but there is absolutely nothing else out there that even comes close to our quality and value. So the next question is, why are our courses so cheap? And I actually prefer the term, why are our courses so inexpensive? And I'd like to give you just a little bit of background information here because it's relevant to the answer. I got involved in teaching interior design in the 1990s. When I say I was given a curriculum to cover, I was literally just given a list of lesson titles and pointed to a classroom. It was entirely up to me how I delivered the training and what I actually put into each lesson. To cut a long story short, I realized very quickly that the quality of any training program was really dependent on the tutor. And the differences in standards are huge, not just amongst different colleges, but even within the same college using different tutors. From day one, I felt that was unfair and wrong. You should be able to enroll on a course and know exactly what you're getting, regardless of who is doing the teaching. I also think that when you study a particular qualification, the results and standards should be the same no matter where you are in the world. And finally, I've always been involved with adult education, because my interior design work takes up most of my time. Anyone working in a college or university will tell you hands down that adult learners produce the best results. It's usually because they know what they want and they're committed to the outcome, whereas a lot of young people who went to college straight from school are often just following a path without necessarily thinking. And many of them don't even really know what they want because they haven't had any real-world experience. What I found in all of the colleges that I worked in is that most of their focus goes towards their full-time students. But adult learners have completely different needs and requirements, and these simply were not being met. Plus, what I found incredibly frustrating was that many people couldn't enroll on a course that they wanted to without first doing an access course. Even now, this makes absolutely no sense to me. If an adult learner wants to learn and they're committed to, we should be able to teach them without them doing a foundation course first. It's unnecessary. And it's a waste of resources, both time and money. So I promise I'll get off my soapbox now, but I just thought it was important because these are the things that drove me and that drive everyone here in the Design Academy. When I started this, I really thought that the quality of a training program should not be dependent on any one tutor, and that even includes me. To take it even one step further, if a training program cannot produce consistent quality results, then it's going to be hit and miss whether or not you're successful, and that's just simply not fair. I love design and I absolutely love learning and lifelong learning, and it is that passion that led me to set up the Design Academy. I knew it needed to be run as an efficient organization, but I'm not really a business person, and I love quotes, as you know, and this one I particularly like, one from Henry Ford, who was incredibly successful. He says, "A business that makes nothing but money is a poor business." He founded the Ford Motor Company, which is still incredibly successful, but he always believed that success would come simply as a byproduct of offering good quality to their customers. Here's another person who really inspires me. There's very few people who don't know Richard Branson and the Virgin brand, and he has been called the hippie businessman. He has become a billionaire, but it's not money that drives him. In fact, he founded his business on 5 key principles. He said that a product or service cannot bear the Virgin label unless it meets all of these conditions. It must have high quality, it must be innovative, it must provide good value for money, it must be challenging to existing alternatives, and it must have a sense of fun. If you've ever read Richard Branson's story, you'll know that he's come very close to bankruptcy a couple of times. But in the face of adversity, these principles have always been his driving force and encouraged and motivated him to keep doing what he does. I also love the fact that he's a bit of a rebel, and he's deliberately gone into industries where he thought the pricing was overly inflated and produced the best quality services at a much more affordable price. So to answer the question of why are our courses so inexpensive, finally you say, she's getting to the point. It's because we follow a very similar set of principles here at the Design Academy. Every now and again we have a meeting about our prices. I don't believe the prices actually reflect the quality of the course, and sometimes that can be a little bit damaging in itself. But one of the things that I find most satisfying is seeing people literally from all over the world and all walks of life become really excellent designers, and knowing that they wouldn't have had that possibility without our courses. So we offer the best possible training at the lowest possible price, and that's the reason why.